Consider the equation x squared plus y squared equals 25. Create a table showing the corresponding x and y values when x takes on the values -5, -4, -3, 0, 3, and 4. So this is what I'm going to do. Before I create my table, what they're basically saying is, hey, make a table, plug in these numbers for x, what y's do you get? So maybe I should take this guy and solve it for y. So let me write it over here. X squared plus y squared equals 25. In order to solve for y, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract everything by x squared. So subtract everything by x squared, you get that. So y squared equals 25 minus x squared. Now I'm going to take the square root of everything. Whenever you take the square root to solve an equation, you have to include the plus or minus symbol. So what we're going to get is y equals positive or negative 25 minus x squared. Now, why do I care about the positive or negative? Well, there's no restrictions here saying that I only care about positives or I only care about negatives. And again, whenever I solve an equation for y, and the way I have to solve is by taking the square root, you have to include the plus or negative symbol. So now I can make myself a little table of x and y values. Okay, so the x and y values they want me to use are -5, -4, -3, 0, 3, and 4. Why they chose those, I have no idea. Thanks, ChatGPT, for creating this problem. If I plug in -5, okay, if I plug in -5, I would get -5 squared, which is positive 5. So let me actually show the math for just the first one so you can see the math being done. Okay, let me just show the math for one of them. What color didn't I use? Red. So plus or negative, the square root of 25 minus -5 squared. -5 squared becomes positive 5. So we now know that everything that we plug in is going to become positive. So it's going to become -5 squared is 25. So positive or negative, the square root of 0, which is positive, or negative 0, which is just 0. Okay, so what's probably going to happen with these is I'm going to take that number, plug it in, square it. It's going to become positive no matter what. Do a little bit of math and plus or minus it. Okay, so if I plug in -4, -4 in here becomes 16. 25 minus 16 is 9. Positive or negative, square root of 9 is going to be positive and -3. If I were to plug in -3, -3 squared becomes 9. So 25 minus 9 is 16. Positive or negative, square root of 16 is positive and -4. If I plug in 0, I get 25 minus 0. So positive, negative, square root of 25 is positive, -5. If I plug in 3, 25 minus 9 is 16. Positive or negative, we get this again. And I know what's going to happen here. If I plug in 4, I get 16. So 25 minus 16 is 9. Positive or negative, square root of 9 is positive or -3. So for x values, I get multiple y values. Now, graphically, what that gets us is, I pick x is -5, I get something. -4, I get 2 things. -3, I get 2 things. So what's happening is we're creating some type of, I don't know, circular pattern. Maybe it's a circle, maybe it's not. It's a circle. But that's what we're going to get. And as I kind of keep this process going, if I plug in 0, I know my picture's not that great, but, I get obviously 2 things. So we're going to get ourselves some type of circular looking shape because it is a circle.